So Claude 3.7 Sonnet has just been announced. This is the most intelligent model from date. I've already tested it and actually created an AI avatar video out of it today. So you can see the video right here. This was generated with Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and this was just announced. Super impressed with the results from it so far. Looks outstanding. And today I'm going to show you exactly what it works, what it means, how it's changed things, what you can do with it. And we'll be just testing out step by step together. All right. So basically, if you want to understand, okay, what can this do and how does it work? So one of the groundbreaking things about this is that you can do two things at once. So like the human brain, where, for example, you can make split decisions, but you also have another thinking mode, which is where you can deep think, right? You can think about things deeply, or you can answer people's questions like super fast. And that's essentially what you can do with Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Now, if you want to understand the benchmarks and what this means for you and how everything is going to change, let's view the benchmarks right here. So this is the update from Anthropic. And you can see here, they said Claude 3.7 Sonnet is a significant upgrade over its predecessor, right? Now, honestly, up to yesterday, or even up to less than 24 hours ago, Claude 3.5 Sonnet, the previous model, was the best out there for human writing, okay? And for coding, to be honest. But now, it's just leveled up again, and it's blowing everyone out the water. I'll show you exactly what I mean and how to code with it, plus how to build AI agents with it later today. If you want the SOPs and all the prompts from today as well, you'll get that inside the comments description, inside the AI Profit Boardroom. But let's keep it popping now. So Rodrigo says, can you do a content writing example, article, or example, or does this not do that particular task any better than post? All right, you're going to love this one. You're going to love this one, Rodrigo, mate. All right, so let's open up Claude. This is exactly what I wanted to show you straight off the bat. Right? For example, let me show you what we created actually earlier today. This is the script that I've created for Claude 3.5 Sonnet, all right? Now, if I ask for Claude 3.7 Sonnet. So if we ask like Claude 3.5 Sonnet normally to generate a script like this, it's going to generate about 400 to 500 words at a time. If we ask Claude 3.7 Sonnet to generate, the content itself is not that much different, but it's much longer because Claude 3.7 Sonnet has a token context, which is absolutely ridiculous. All right. For example, let me pull this up right now. For example, we've got this content and that was coming out at 2,500 words. Let me show you what I mean. If we open up a new window here and we'll select 3.7 Sonnet, we'll just we'll say something like, okay, create a 2,000 word article about AI agents with Claude. So we're going to use a 3.7 Sonnet, the new model. Now, if we actually go over to Claude normally, and we'll go over to more models and then 3.5 Sonnets, the old model, and we'll do exactly the same thing. We'll ask it exactly the same prompt, right? And we'll see which one comes out the best, all right? Now, if we have a look here, you can see the 3.7 Sonnet, so the new version, is just reeling out word count after word count. You can see it's just creating a super long article. I haven't given it any prompt instructions on how to write it, so don't worry about the style of writing for now. Just focus on the length of the article, right? So, for example, if I want to generate like a 3,000 word script for an AI avatar video, then 3.5 Sonnet is absolutely amazing, right? 3.7 Sonnet, sorry. 3.5 Sonnet usually doesn't generate what I want, okay? So, for example, here you can see it's generated a 1,000 word article on 3.5 Sonnet, the old model. If we go to the new model and we'll check the content length, usually you're going to get a much longer output, right? So this is 1,689 words. It's almost double. Right? It's up by 68% versus the first one. So the old model doesn't generate the word count that you ask it to. The new model generates the word count pretty much where you want it to be. Maybe it's give or take 15%, but we can roll with that. All right. And so what I'm trying to tell you here is if you want to create really long, in-depth articles or YouTube scripts for AI videos, then 3.7 Sonnet changes the game, my friend. And Vic says, yeah, you're right, Vic. Shout out to Vic, who's also in the AI Profit Boardroom and runs it with me. And Echo says, change the style with 3.7. So you can choose the style over here. So for example, let's say we go for, I don't know, Hormozy SEO style. And we'll say, rewrite this bad. Then we can select a different writing style. down here. Rodrigo says, dude, bonkers. That's what I'm talking about. Vic says, holy smokes, that's wild. Absolutely is wild. And Fantasy Cloud says, hi, I just came in. What's so great about 3.7 Sonnet? Aside from the word count is not enough. All right, I'm glad we agree on that. So let me compare now Grok versus 3.7 Sonnet. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here as well. All right. I'm just going to switch back to normal mode for writing. We're going to select 3.7 Sonnet. If I say build a self-playing snake game, right? Because we all love building snake games, right? That's all AI is used for. If you want to build a better self-playing snake game, then Claude is really good, right? Number one, it's super fast. Number two, when it codes, the UI tends to be better on the games that you build. Number three, you actually get to preview it inside the canvas over here. Now, if we do the exact same prompt inside 3, we'll go on think mode over here and we'll plug that in. Number one, you can't preview the code. So when it's thinking this out, and actually I'm going to use the normal mode because we're using the normal mode on Claude as well. We're not using the reasoning mode yet. But if we compare these, you can see here how, for example, you can preview the code and the actual game itself once that's built out. If we go inside Grok, we get the Python code, but we have to go over to Trinket or a Python environment to actually build this out. All right. For example, if we want to run this code from Grok, we do get it back faster than Claude. But if we open this up, it's very basic. Look at the UI, look at the style, look at the design. Not that great, right? It's even super laggy when you're playing this bad boy. If we go over to Claude now and we click on Start AI, you can see that the interface, the user design and everything else is much better, right? It looks a lot nicer. Plus it works perfectly. Plus you got like some controls on here. So if we pull this side by side, and bear in mind, like Grok 3 is the AI that Elon Musk has designed and is sending to space. And then and that's the output that you've got over here. Whereas inside Claude, we've got a better designed UI. You can preview it inside the chat. It works perfectly first time round. And we don't need to go and run like a Python code or anything like that. We can just play it in the canvas, right? This looks 10 times better than this. And so it's the same prompt, but different outputs because we're using a better AI, right? So for coding, Claude is really good. It already was the best, but it's already good now. Cursor have actually just launched it inside their platform. So you can use Claude 3.7 Sonnet inside Cursor if you want to start coding with it straight away. And also for writing content, you get bigger, longer outputs from Claude than any other AI model that I've seen out there. And the quality of Claude's human writing is much, much better. Right? So that's the sort of stuff we're talking about. So for example, Riddle says Grok 3 killer. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. All right. And in a world where you can just build self-playing snake games, you only want the best. Let's have a look. So Fantasy Cloud says, do you think there's any advantage if you're trying to rank affiliate articles with Sonnet new version versus other versions? I think it's going to save you time, right? Number one, the content is much more humanized when you're using Claude 3.5 Sonnet. And number two, you're going to save a lot of time when you're using these workflows because you can get more tokens and you can create longer outputs quicker, right? Whereas, for example, if you're using something like Grok, you're going to be going back and forth a lot more. And Vic says, it even gave you a take control option on Claude. Yeah, let's test this out. I don't know if that's going to work. Yeah, look at that. I can control it. So I'm using the keyboard to control it. What a time to be alive, my friends. All right. However you want to play Snake, you don't need the Nokia 3210 anymore. You can just use Snake like this. It's beautiful. Fantasy says, what are the benchmarks like? And is Claude better than 03 and 01? All right. Good question. So let's go back to Claude's website over here. And Claude is built by Anthropic, if you didn't know, right? So we need to go to anthropic.com to see the benchmarks. And if you want to check out, okay, what does this mean, etc., then we can scroll down here, go to model details, and you'll see all the benchmarks. Now, there's a few things here as well that most people don't understand about Claude. And it is such an underrated feature that nobody talks about, especially as this upgrades and improves. And what I'm talking about here is the computer use agents that you can actually build directly with Claude, right? For example, this doesn't just have a 200K context window. You actually get Claude computer use inside here as well, which means that it can go off, it can use your browser. And because it's an upgraded version, it's a lot better. Satari says, there's a tree in the other side of the river in winter. How can I pick an apple to challenge its logic and see if it can notice apples don't bloom in winter? All right, let's test this out and then we'll come back to the benchmarks. All right. So let's start a new chat over here and we can choose extended thinking mode, right? So when you're inside Claude, you get two options. You can use the thinking mode, normal, or the extended, which is best for challenges. like tutorials, right? For example, there's a tree in the other side of the river in winter. How can I pick an apple? And we'll see what it comes back with. This is the first time I've really tested the thinking mode, so I'm excited to see what we get back here. Let me zoom in for the peeps at home watching on the mobile. Here, so it does say, keep in mind that apple trees don't typically have fruit in winter in most climates. They usually bear fruit from late summer through fall. If you do see apples on the tree in winter, they might be left over from fall and likely won't be in the best condition. All right, so it gives you a few cheeky tips on picking apples from trees across the river, because we all need those in our life. And then it also shows you exactly, okay, in winter, this probably doesn't work so well. So I would say that passes the test pretty nicely, which is pretty cool. And story says, now try Grok 3. All right, let's do it. So we'll copy that. We'll pop over to Grok 3. We'll make sure we select think mode. All right. And then we'll hit enter. Just for anyone watching at home, I want to be 100% clear with you here, right? Number one, you can get free access to Claude. Number two, it's got a higher context token. And number three, you can preview code inside here, which makes it awesome. Now, if you want to use the extended thinking mode, which already seems to be faster than most other reasoning models I've seen, then you click on the drop down and you make sure you select. Now let's go back to Grok. So Grok's having a good old think about this. We'll see what we get back from here. Dick says, wow, that's what I'm talking about. And Fancy Cloud says, in the benchmarks, they show that it's not beating Grok 3 beta, I think. So it is and it isn't. I'll show you what I mean in a second. But Grok seems to figure this out as well. So it said to pick an apple from the tree on the other side of the river in winter, assess the river's condition. Since it's winter, the river is likely frozen. Assume the river is frozen, solid enough to cross safely. I'm not sure about it. I don't know if I would assume that the river is frozen, solid enough. That's dangerous already. Some dangerous advice. All right, so you got to test the ice, carefully walk across, and then pick the apple. Now, it doesn't say anything about the tree. It doesn't say anything about the tree in winter. Let me have a look here. So the river is likely frozen. Okay, so it's figured that out. Once on the other side, locate the apple on the tree. Since the problem states there's an apple to pick, assume it's within reach, pick the apple from the tree. Carefully cross the frozen river back. Yeah, so Grok has not figured that out, whereas Claude understands apple trees don't typically have fruit in winter, mate. So what are you doing? Why are you trying to pick trees in the winter? Really good test, tutorial. Appreciate that. Right? That's absolutely awesome. Thanks for joining. Let's see. So we got the benchmarks here. All right, let's pull up the benchmarks for you and we'll see what we got back. I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about. So there's a good comparison here. So you've got benchmarks with extended thinking and no extended thinking. All right. And then you've got benchmarks versus Grok 3 versus DeepSeek versus OpenAI O3 Mini High, OpenAI O1, and Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Okay? And so if we compare these benchmarks side by side, you can see here the Claude 3.5 Sonnet scores 78.2% / 84.8%, right? Whereas, for example, if we go over to Grok 3 Beta scored 80.2%. So it's actually beating 3.7 on that mode. But on the other test is scoring 84.8% for Claude 3.7 versus Grok 3 Beta. So Claude is winning in that respect. Agentic coding, you can't see any benchmarks for extended thinking, but you can see no extended thinking, and it's storming ahead, right? It's 20 or 30% up right there. Agentic tool use, it looks like Claude is smashing it. Multilingual, it seems to be behind OpenAI O1, so something to bear in mind. Visual reasoning, OpenAI O1 is beating it, and Grok 3 is beating it. And then for maths, you can see here the Grok 3 Beta doesn't have a score. 3.5 Sonnet is way behind. OpenAI O1 very close, 96.2 versus 96.4. O1 is beating Claude on maths. But yeah, they're the benchmarks. So pretty interesting stuff here. What else we got here? So ScriptTech says, will they eventually remove the limits for free users? Usually what they do is I don't think they will. I think they'll always have those limits on, and they'll just keep giving it away for free just up to a certain limit in tokens. But it's super cheap. Like if it's going to save you 1 or 2 hours, it's 100% worth it, right? Like how much is your time worth? So Thrival Anime says, does thinking mode got any limits? For example, Grok only allows 10 prompts in thinking mode for every 2 hours. Is a good question. I haven't seen any information on, I'm going to have a look here. Have we got any information on the limits? Let's see what we got. Maybe there's some limits on the extended thinking section. Can't see any. I haven't read anything about the limits yet. It's probably posted somewhere, but there's so much information there. So this is a page on extended thinking. So Claude's extended thinking mode, which just came out, and it seems to be performing really well. Vic says Grok 3 advice making me, yeah, that's it. You got to be careful crossing rivers, peeps, especially in Macedonia or Thailand. All right, what channel? I think Grok 3 is overrated. It failed at install A10 locally for me, and ChatGPT and Claude got it done. There you go. You got Claude 3.7 to help you now. Claude beats Grok on this benchmark. ZYP is made up of Twitter data. I do wonder that. This is one of the things you got to be careful of, right? Like, anyone can post on Twitter. So if, for example, you can feed Grok with data from Twitter, and AI is already known for hallucinating, and then it's feeding him information from every Jack Johnson on the street, then how helpful is that? Good test. I agree with you. Satori says, thanks. Logically, one must challenge an AI reasoning using keywords in between to see if it can find the contradiction and come with its own fixed output. Yeah, I think that's great advice. If you don't have a YouTube channel, Satori, like, you should share some of this stuff. Maybe you have a YouTube, or maybe you have a blog or something like that, but it sounds cool. Script Tech said you can probably look at payment plans. So you can show the limits and stuff there. Let's have a look at that. Where is the pricing? Here we go. All right, let's see what we got here. So it says more usage. Maybe you can't use extended thinking inside the free version. So you see here, it says for free, you can talk to Claude, blah, blah, blah. And then Pro, it says more usage than free. Doesn't say specifically what. Organize projects, access Claude, use Claude 3.7 Sonnet with extended thinking mode. Rival says, let's just summarize it. Ask Claude direct. I'm going to do that in a sec. Fancy says, is Claude affordable compared to other models? We got the prices there, right? So it's $18, right? Even if your time is worth now, if it's going to save you 18 hours of writing per month, then isn't it worth it? Right? That just makes total sense to me. I don't know why especially if you're a business owner, right? Like you got to invest in yourself and invest in the future of your business and make sure you stay productive. Like, that's your most valuable resource. So I'm going to go and try and ask Claude now, what are the token limits on Claude 3.7 Sonnet? I don't know if it's going to tell me exactly. Yeah, look at that. It doesn't have information. I wonder when it was last updated. That is the limitations. If it's not connected to the internet in real time, then it's not that useful. So for example, you see here, the cutoff date is October 20. So the current version was released in 2025, but it only has information up to 2024. So it's not going to be able to tell you the limits or anything like that. How much is 01, 03? So if you want unlimited on 03, I think I paid $200 a month, something like that. Script Tech says, I'm on the free plan and it shows 3.7 Sonnet, but there's a lock next to it or anything. Maybe it's free for everyone. But of course, yeah, I think you just don't get the extended reasoning from what I can see. And John says, how do you know what LLM to use? Well, I mean, for me, we have this community inside the AI Profit Boardroom where we're constantly sharing information with each other on what's working, what's not, trying to help each other, right? Help each other grow as well. And so that really gives me a good idea. And then for me, I've tested for years now, producing over 1,400 videos about AI. And so I'm constantly testing, okay, what's working, what's not, how can we improve, etc. Now, the next thing I want to show you is, this was pretty cool. So we actually create a YouTube script. I only created this 30 minutes ago, which you can see right here. And this is a script for my next video about Claude 3.7 Sonnet that I just plugged into my AI avatar, right? So you can see here, for example, I created a script using Claude and then plugged that into HeyGen, and that's 62% ready already. You can create really nice scripts from this, but also because it's got such a high token limit, it can create the whole script in one, not just bit by bit. And Vic says, best community out there, guys. That's what we're talking about. Vic runs the AI Profit Boardroom with me, right? So for example, just a couple of days ago, he posted this update, and this was the third update from us last week. And you can see we already added 4 new modules. So we're updating this every single day. In fact, if you go to the classroom inside the SAP section here, you'll find some of my best prompts plus a step-by-step SAP on how to use Claude 3.7 Sonnet. And so if we scroll down, we've got the full SAP like you can see. And then we also have a bunch of prompts that I've tested that work really well. Next up, what I want to show you is exactly how to build AI agents using Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and also how to code with it, right? One of the best ways to code. So I'm really excited. Make sure you keep watching. AP says, how much can I use each month? There doesn't seem to be any open limits, but it seems to I think it'll reset each day. What else we got here? Is there a downside to using the free Claude? A lot of people in Trade, right? If you're not familiar with Trade, essentially Trade is from ByteDance, which is the parent company of TikTok. And you can code in here a free version of Cursor. The only downside to using it, number one, is data privacy. So you wouldn't give it any confidential information. Like, you'll be really careful with that. And number two is a lot of people are saying this is not the full power of Claude 3.5 Sonnet. I don't know whether that's true or not. Obviously, I can't see behind the scenes at Trade, but it is interesting to see that typically you do get better outputs inside Klein using 3.5 Sonnet versus using Trade directly from what I've seen. But that could be anything. And yeah, the things coming in today, it's going to be wild, my friends. It's going to be wild inside the AI Profit Board. Make sure you join. Link in the comments and description, or just DM me if you watch it on Twitter. I'll send you the link. Pamad Anthony says, if Claude integrates image recognition capabilities, it certainly does, my friend. So for example, if you go onto my website, let's say, for example, like this, and we're like, okay, mate, just go and clone this bad boy. So we're going to take a screenshot, grab that screenshot, copy that image, and then we'll go over to Claude, open up a new chat, and I'm going to say clone this. And essentially you can just clone the website that you want, right? So you can see here how it recognizes the image, and then based on the image, it's going to go off and start coding that for us. I'll come back and show you the output in a minute. It's a great question there. Do you know where you can use O1 and O3 or any other paid LLM for free without limits? Absolutely. So if you go to Visual Studio Code, and then you're going to make sure that you have Klein installed as well inside Visual Studio Code. Then you're going to go over to the API provider and select VS Code LM API. And inside there, you get free access to code with O3 Mini, Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and all these other normally paid APIs, right? So you can see them all there. So you can code with all of those for free using Virtual Studio Code. Now, inside the AI Profit Boardroom as well, we actually have a section on how to set that up. So if you go down the left-hand side right here, and you go to Git Copilot agent mode, you'll find the SOP on exactly how to set that up step by step. Because there's a bit of there's something else that you have to set up there. It's a bit more technical and it comes outside the scope of this video, but yeah, you can get free access to it as well. David says, this model creates unique and cool website designs from scratch, but it uses a lot of tokens. Yeah, absolutely. But you can use something like OpenRouter. OpenRouter is super cheap. So there you go. Tech says Grok has really good image generation. Yeah, for sure. Claude doesn't generate images as far as I'm aware, whereas Grok 3 can. But let's come back to this page that we just built. So I'm just going to publish and copy that bad boy. So this is the cloned website that we did with a screenshot, right? So you can see you would just add your images. So it's create a section for that and that. And yeah, we just cloned the website using Claude 3.7 Sonnet in one screenshot and a prompt. Quen also will introduce their thinking model soon. Yeah, I saw that. I heard that. I really like Quen. It's totally underrated, but he's very powerful, great for generating images. I think you can generate videos as well last time I tested it. So pretty cool stuff right there. Ask Claude to code a full stack application to test its capabilities. I might do that on another video because I think it's going to take too long to code whilst I'm live. And Jeffrey says, are you giving a promo code for joining your school community? So we got 2 promos on right now, right? If you want to join the SEO Elite Circle, you can actually get a free trial of it. Link in the comments description. You can get a free trial for it. Try it for 7 days. If you like it, stay on. If not, just make sure you've canceled your trial before the trial extends. And for the AI Profit Boardroom, so prices are going up next month, right? So this is an early beta price, right? And if you join now, then you'll save a lot of money because next month it's going up. And obviously, we're not going to roll back the prices. There's such a high demand for this stuff, like 196 members. Obviously, we can only have so many people in there to make sure the Q&A sessions are valuable and everything else. So yeah, if you sign up now, you'll save a lot of money and you'll save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Prices are going up next month. And if you sign up now, then the other thing is you'll lock in your legacy price, right? So if you get the early beta price now, then you're locking in that price for lifetime and your prices are never going to go up. You're never going to get charged more than that. So you can grab it right now. Happy to help. Think says, why I have 3.7 in this section and you don't. Not sure what you mean. Oh, in Visual Studio. Not sure there. I think I'll show you what I mean. When will the race of the AI? I think it's a never-ending battle, right? It's always going on. So let me show you exactly how you can code with this based on what's working for me. So for example, if you go over to Visual Studio Code, the way that you download this is you just go to code.visualstudio.com. And then once you're in there, you're going to see something that looks like this. Now, inside here, you go to extensions, you go to client, install client. All right, make sure you've installed client. And then once you've done that, then you're going to go over to client in the left-hand side, settings, and inside here, we can switch over to, I don't think Anthropic. Oh, look at that. Oh, we've just got Claude 3.7 Sonnet inside Anthropic. That's what we like to see, peeps, all right? I'm pretty excited to test this out. I can't wait. All right, and this supports images, computer use, prompt caching, boom shakalaka. You can also see I've got some instructions on exactly how to set this up. By the way, if you want a tutorial for that, it's inside the AI Profit Boardroom, along with the custom instructions and everything else we use. Just go to the SAP section. So if we go to the Visual Studio Code now, and then inside here, we are going to start testing this out. Think says, that's what I told you in caps locks. You savage, Think. You savage. But thank you for the heads up. I appreciate it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say, okay, okie dokie, peely pokey. All right, create landing page for, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a prompt that I used to generate the landing page for our AI automation business, right? By the way, if you want AI automation, just book in a call, link in the comments description. You can book in a free AI strategy session. And then from there, we can talk about automating your business with AI. Either way, you get a lot of value from that call. And you'll be speaking to the legendary Vic, who was commenting. I think the stream just cut off for a second there, but we were back in the game anyway, right? And so we're going to take this prompt that we use for AI automation to promote our service. And I'm going to plug that into Visual Studio Code. I've selected Claude 3.7 Sonnet, okay? And then make sure you're on act mode. And inside act mode, we're going to plug this in directly. All right. So let's just grab that. We'll hit enter. And that's going to use Claude 3.7 Sonnet. I think I need to set up my Anthropic API key again. So let me just grab that from console. 1 second. Bear with me, peeps. If you're wondering how to get an API key to code with Claude 3.7 Sonnet, it's pretty simple. Just trying to log in here. It's taking its sweet time. Look at that. It's just stuck on loading right there. Let me just test what's happening. Yeah. All right. Let's see if we can log in again. Yeah, we're all good on that. Beautiful. All right. Then we're going to grab an API key. So if you want to generate an API key, go to get API keys over here. And then you can just grab one from this section by creating a new key. So let me just do that in the background. And I haven't actually checked out how much it costs for this stuff, but I think it's pretty cheap whenever I've coded in the past. So we're going to plug in the API key right here, and then we're going to retry that. Hopefully that should work. There we go. And here it still says Claude 3.7 Sonnet is available on Perplexity Pro User 2. Oh, let's check that out. Let's have a look. That's awesome, because then you can connect Perplexity to the internet. Right? So great shout there. Thank you for sharing. So let's go on here, and I think if we go to settings inside Perplexity, and then look at that. Yeah, we've got Claude 3.7 Sonnet set up, ready to go. We're going to say, okay, research Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and then it's going to do the research. That's perfect. That's what we're talking about. So it's using Claude 3.7 Sonnet, but the benefit of using it inside Perplexity is that it's connected to the internet, right? Makes total sense. That's awesome. All right, cool. Let's go back to Visual Studio Code now. So that's coding out. The cool thing about using 3.7 Sonnet as well is it can preview stuff inside the code. So far, that's cost us 6 cents to build out this project. And it also shows you the context window. So we've got maximum 200K tokens, and we've used 16,600 so far. And then it's building this out. So it's created the index.html, and you can see it's previewing it now, which is beautiful, right? So this thing we were talking about before about browser use, you can see how it's actually created the page right there, and then it's scrolling through the page, right? So I should check if it's working properly by opening it in the browser. This will allow me to verify the layout, etc. That's what it's saying right there. Then it's using the browser. And that's the cool thing about coding with Client and 3.7 Sonnet, is that it can use the browser, it can preview stuff, it can scroll around in the browser. And this is inside a virtual environment. Also, Claude is really good for writing headlines. I'll show you what I mean. So, for example, if you look at this particular page, we didn't write this, right? And Bold didn't write it when we gave it the topic, but Claude 3.7 Sonnet actually did. So we'll come back to that in a second. Let's see what we got back from Perplexity. So yeah, the hybrid reasoning approach is the biggest difference. So up to, I think it's 200K tokens, as far as I'm aware. Advanced coding, Claude Code is coming out as well. So that's like a command line tool for agentic coding. Pricing, consistent with previous models, it says. Yeah, looking good. Lol, we got a philosophical question here. John says, do you think humanity can exist long-term with superintelligence AI? Absolutely. Like, I don't feel pessimistic about the future. I think that if you're one of the few people watching this channel, then you're staying ahead of the game and you're leading the pack. And so if you're leading the pack, you're always going to be okay. The scary thing is for like the 99% of humans who don't understand AI, have never used it, and don't even know what's coming for them, right? Before it's even come for them. And so that's the biggest difference I see. As long as you're learning and adapting and you're flexible and open to learning this stuff, then you're going to be totally fine. But if you are ignorant to it or you reject the technology, then you're in big problems, my friend, because it's going to affect your career. It's going to affect your business, your personal growth. That's why we started the AI Profit Boardroom, because we wanted to create a community where we could all learn and grow and share stuff together and be the top 1% that are leading the crowd. That's what it's all about. And there's some awesome people in there. All right. So we're going to run this command now. We'll open it up in the browser. And you can see here, for example, we've got a nice little landing page ready to go. And how easy was that? Let's check the links, make sure that actually goes to the right place. So that's going to book a call with Vic. And again, feel free to book in a call if you're interested in AI automation for your business. Link in the comments description. We can handle basically the way that we do this. And I'll show you what I mean on this landing page. But basically the way that we do this, we call it the AI time machine method. And so basically it's all about scaling your business whilst you sleep. And so essentially when you're doing this, number one, we actually time audit you. So we figure out, okay, where are you spending most of your time? And then we build systems each month based on that, right? And every system we build should save you at least 100 hours per year. And we just implement it all for you. So we figure out, okay, where's the 80-20 of your time going? Number two, okay, how can we implement a new system to save you time? And then number three, we just go off and implement it for you. Right? Really simple system, but we can just go off and do AI automation. Plus, you get all of this cool stuff included as part of the package. So it's pretty nice right there. And if your time is worth like £100 an hour and you save 100 hours, then you're paying $1,500 a month for something that saves you up to £50,000 a month, right? Crazy stuff. All right, cool. So it's looking pretty good. I love the fact that Claude can actually just go off and create stuff. That costs us 55 cents to build out the whole landing page and to preview it using the computer use browser. Absolutely awesome. So just to be clear here, you know how to code with the API, you know how to build games, how to create content, how to generate AI avatars. By the way, we have the prompts and the SOP for this inside the AI Profit Boardroom if you want to get access to that. But yeah, you know exactly what to do now. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Now, if you want to join the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments and description. Again, this comes with all this good stuff. 196 members that you can ask inside the community for help. Everyone in this community has one single goal, which is to save time and make money with AI, right? That's the whole goal, the collective goal. And every single person inside this group is working towards that. So it's kind of like, instead of using just one single brain, aka yours, you and your team can join the AI Profit Boardroom, and then you've got 196 people that you can crowdsource and learn from, right? And if we all help each other, then a rising tide lifts all boats. On top of that, you get all of our best for email, social media, video, AI agents, web automation, scraping, AI SEO automation, Q&A call recordings. You can watch back a crash that will literally save you hundreds of hours, even if you implement one of those systems. And then all of our best SOPs. And this whole community gets updated daily. So if you sign up now, you lock in your beta price, you get a lifetime price, and you get an absolute bargain. The prices will increase next month, 100%. And then you can see you get weekly calls from me. So if you join now, then you'll be able to jump on the Q&A with me tomorrow, and we can chat about your business and with AI automation. So with that, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to put that in. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 business a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan. So this will be custom tailored to your business to get you more leads, sales, and profits from your website. You'll discover the secrets to SEO link building. We'll answer any questions you have one-to-one. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors link building, and how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us. Feel free to get that. Appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks everyone who tuned in. Cheers. Bye.